Lots to unpack there. We've got just the man to do it. Let's bring in GOP pollster Mitchell Brown. Mitchell, great to have you with us today. Let me start with just the whole DHS thing. You're a pollster. You kind of read how people feel about things. In my view, Democrats have held up funding for DHS, but I don't think they've gotten really a lot of blame for it from the public. What are your polls telling you about this issue?
When it comes to blame for anything, it's really tough when you have the White House, the Senate, and the Congress in congressional and Republican control. So when you have all three of those, it's really hard to blame something on the other party. Even though they are the ones holding it up, it's just not how the American public sees it. They tend to lay it at their feet. So I think part of the reason why the Trump team was ready to go with Mark Mullen was, hey, this is someone who's from the Senate. He knows his colleagues across the aisle. Hopefully this can push things through, because they didn't see a pathway to funding, and they're hoping that would somehow reconcile this. And so luckily they had Senator Fetterman there. Without that, it would be troublesome. But the thing is, if we need to message this, we can't be Republicans on the defense here. And the Trump team needs to understand that. They need to go back on the attack here. It's not something to shy away from. I think a lot of people were worried about how things in Minnesota went. But here, you have to, again, the message is to relay this back to constituents and voters that they are trying to block all funding. So every component of this, when you're at the airport, this is delaying your times here. Right. When we're on the street, it's making things unsafe. So that has to be the message going forward for the Trump team and Republicans in general.
And for the Democrats, it all comes back to ICE, because they don't want to see ICE funded. You know, I'm very fired up about Freddie the Beagle, and there is a point to this story. Any animal abuser should seek consequences, but a non-citizen punting a dog, and there's an act for it, yet somehow they defend people that are committing crimes, not just against service dogs, but against American citizens, and they want to keep them in this country. That's really what this argument is all about. It is so beyond aggravating for people who feel that, you know, Americans should always come first.
And it's, again, it's a 60-40 issue. This was one of the few mandates that the Trump team did have coming in January of 25. Immigration was one of those 60-40 issues where even most independents agreed with it, and to the extent that the Trump team could go, and people still wanted mass deportations. So with that being said, there's nothing that the Democrats can do. So they are going to try to obstruct at every turn. But when you have that mandate, again, you have to be aggressive with it, because what happens come November, if Republicans don't have the House anymore, none of this will get done. And we are going to see more and more of these policies, again, put these officers' lives in danger, put our citizens in danger. And again, it's going to come back and affect us at every single turn economically as well.
Okay, let's talk midterms. Yep. Senator Elizabeth Warren throwing her support behind a candidate with a Nazi-linked tattoo in Maine. Watch this.
Graham Plattner has the grit to go against the grain and to fight for what is right. And he can help us build a country that doesn't just work for a tiny sliver at the top.
All right, I want to call a hypocrisy alert here, because she lost it over Department of War Secretary Pete Hegseth tattoos co-signing a claim that one of his is, quote, a Christian expression associated with right-wing extremism, and that made him unfit for office in her eyes. I'm not very good at tattoo interpretation, okay? I don't know what it means for the electorate, but it does strike me that if she's going after Hegseth about his, she better be ready to answer whatever the issue is with Plattner's tattoos.
She is, and again, that's something that we need to highlight. A lot of the people that have gotten behind him, again, were vocally critical. He's endorsed by Bernie Sanders, Ruben Gallego in Arizona. But I think the other thing to note here is he is part of a new trend that we're seeing from Democrats. I actually think that he's a rather strong candidate when it comes to electoral politics. If you look at his background, he was an enlisted Marine. When you look at his image, again, they're not running crazy-looking people. They're not running blue-haired individuals. This is, again, a younger, stronger white male from Maine, looks the part, talks the part. So again, he does have a sordid history and background, but they are getting a little bit of the playbook. So they can't run these crazy people that can't win. So when you look at him and you look at someone like Terico in Texas, they're people that they really went out and codified this image of a working man or someone representative of their people. And Republicans have to be wary of that.
Look, Mayor Mondami right here, very similar kind of thing, but these people are very, very dangerous. I want to move on to this. The Texas Democrat Senate nominee, James Terico, under intense fire after this video from 2022 resurfaced.
I am proud to say that our campaign has officially become a non-meat campaign. So we are only buying vegan products from our local vegan businesses.
So his campaign now attempting to put out this dumpster fire with this photo, insisting that he is not a vegan. He's chewing on some kind of meat there.
We're assuming that's meat, actually.
Yeah, that is not Beyond Meat, fake meat. But, I mean, this is...
Listen, with this guy, this is honestly like the fifth most weird thing that he said. He said that God is non-binary, that he loves trans children, that the prison system is violence. Yes. So for him, this is actually the most close to normal thing that he's said recently. Well, when you look at that picture, you can tell that took about 2 weeks of consultants coming up with what does barbecue look like. Okay, we have to have a Texas flag here. You can tell that they constructed this image, and it took at least 4 high-paid consultants to tell him to do this.
I wonder how many bites he had to take, how many takes to get the right
It was a spit take that immediately came out of his mouth.
I was going to say, did he swallow that? You know, he's stepped in it in a number of ways, but he's also very agile. You know, he can bob and weave a little bit. Do you think he's good enough to be able to bob and weave his way through the many things he's said in the past that are going to be tough if you're trying to win in Texas?
Yeah, well, if you look, he's one of the few Democrats who's gone on Joe Rogan's podcast. And when you talk to him, he went to seminary. So he couches this in this evangelical language that he's obviously is a playbook that they're trying to use. So compared to who they've run, he's a better candidate than Beto O'Rourke was. But he's a very smooth talker. But when you could see in his past, he's going to get tripped up when you push him to the fire. And eventually people are going to see through what he is.
Mitchell Brown, great stuff. Lots of topics covered there. Thanks very much,
Thanks, guys.
We appreciate it.